When you were learning to read, do you remember transitioning finally out of I have read the words to I can read the emotion? You remember getting to the point where you can do the inflection and a question mark instead of reading the question, reading it as, can you see the question? Do you remember those processes as a kid? For a lot of people, those last after high school. They're still struggling to read any emotion. There's a hilarious passage in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 12 that I was listening to a person read in church one Sunday. It's really funny, and the reader read it as if it was something from the police blotter or possibly from a legal document. And I kind of laughed. Well, reading the emotion behind a text can be a little difficult, especially when we in our Christian culture have been taught the seriousness of opening our Bible, put the frown on and study rather than hear. In Sacramento First United Methodist Church, many of our people get an email every Wednesday. And if you want to get that, send me a note. I'll put it on. I'll put you on the mailer. And it's a chance to look at what we call the shared first word. It's the scripture that'll be preached on the coming Sunday. This week, it's out of John chapter 1, because this next year we'll be reading a lot of John and Mark. Mostly Mark, but a lot of John too. And in John chapter 1, the writer is trying to say John the Baptist is, he's announcing a big deal. And he's trying to be kind of sedate, because that was the writing style you pick up in the whole book. And at the same time, trying to say this is really, really big. And in the portion of chapter 1 that refers to John the Baptist, there are these portents, these optimistic positives that are laid out. And often we read right past the mood. We read to some material. We read looking for some content, but we don't look for how did this feel to the writer, or how did it feel to those who read it? I encourage you this week, if you happen to be able to read John chapter 1, to look at the way John the Baptist talks and the way the writer of the Gospel of John uses that language to say, big stuff's coming. Can you feel it? If we're going to be the people of peace, we need to catch that mood, that optimism. So, big stuff's coming. And you are love first.